Hello and welcome to my kitchen. This is Amanda Widener Wellness. My name's Amanda. I'm so excited to have you here. This is what I eat in a day. So I'm going to show you what I'm having for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Maybe a dessert later if I have room for it. But before I get into today's video, I do have a disclaimer. I am not a doctor or a healthcare provider. And while I am a personal trainer and group fitness instructor, I'm not your personal trainer or group fitness instructor. So please speak with your doctor and wellness team before making any changes to your diet, exercise, or medication regimen. Everything on this channel is based on my opinions and experiences. And also, this what I eat in a day video is not intended for you to follow everything that I'm eating step by step, because my dietary needs are very different than your dietary needs. My body needs certain things that your body may not need, or I might have a larger appetite than you, or vice versa. So speak with your doctor and a registered dietitian to find out what you should be eating throughout the course of a day. But if you see something that I'm eating and you're like, oh man, that looks really good, I want to incorporate it into my plan, that's kind of the concept here. So don't follow everything I do, just take the bits and pieces that you really like and leave the rest. So it is breakfast time, and I have been craving one of my favorite breakfasts, which is like a take on avocado toast. So I went and got all the ingredients for it, and I'm gonna make it here with you. So to speed things along, I kind of pre-plated things. So I have a bunch of fruit here: strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, and raspberries. The berries were on sale at my local grocery store, so I took advantage of it. It doesn't happen often in the colder months, so when it does, I buy all of them. And then what I have here is, this is a frozen Ore-Ida hash brown patty. So I cooked that in the air fryer at about 390. I did 5 minutes on one side, flipped it 5 minutes on the other. It came out really nice and crispy. And then I fried a single egg. And I like my eggs with the yolk broken, so over hard, but you can make it over medium or over easy or however you like it. And then I have some cottage cheese here, and I have some mashed avocado and some everything but the seasoning. So I'm going to assemble this for you so that you can see what I'm having. So I've got my hash brown patty. So that's potatoes. It's a great carb. It's gonna keep me full for a long time. I've got lots of fiber in my fruit here. I have some healthy fat with my avocado and some extra protein with the cottage cheese and the egg. So the way that I like to do this is I'm going to take my mashed avocado and I'm gonna put that directly on top of my hash brown patty. So this is like half of a mashed avocado. So, boop, boop, boop. And I actually like mashed it, and then I took my emulsion blender and emulsioned it, but like mixed it really finely, because if you've noticed from my other videos, I don't like chunky food. So I also use the emulsion blender on, which is like the handheld mixer, on my cottage cheese to make it nice and creamy. Next I'm gonna put, this is a 1/4 cup of cottage cheese. So half a serving of cottage cheese. I'm gonna put that over top. And then I am going to put a little bit of my seasoning on here. Now this seasoning is very salty, and I'm not a big salty girl. So I'm gonna put just a little bit on here for flavor, and then I'm gonna put my egg right on top. Oh, don't slide off. It is sliding off. Boop, boop, boop. All right, and I'm gonna put just a little bit more seasoning on top. Sometimes I eat this with hot sauce instead of the seasoning, but that's it. And then I have a coffee with half of Premier Protein shake in it. So I'll have 1 cup of coffee with that instead of creamer, and then I'll have another cup of coffee later on in my day with the other half of the protein shake. So that also gets me another 30 grams of protein just from drinking my coffee that I'm gonna drink anyway. So this is breakfast. I'm gonna show you a close-up of it, and then I will check back in with you next time it's time to eat. Hello, I am getting ready to make my lunch, but I have a couple things in the oven just being prepped. So while that preps, I'm gonna go ahead and make my treat for later. And my treat is always a Greek yogurt concoction of some sort. And I've really been wanting some s'mores lately, so I thought I'd make a s'more Greek yogurt bowl for my afternoon snack. So I'm gonna take some Greek yogurt. I've mentioned it before. My favorite is the Oikos 000 vanilla. If you wanna go with a plain Greek yogurt, knock yourself out. I prefer vanilla flavored, and that's my prerogative. So that's what I'm going for. So of this kind, the 000 Greek vanilla Greek yogurt, it's 3/4 cup as a serving, 100 calories, and 17 grams of protein. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that into a bowl. right, so that's about 3/4 of a cup. And then I'm going to add some Cool Whip. So no sugar added Cool Whip. 2 tablespoons is 20 calories, 0 grams of protein. But I'm only going to use about a tablespoon. So let me scoop a tablespoon out. And this is just to give it some fluffiness and volume. I'm the only one who's going to be eating this, so I'm okay that I just use my finger to scoop it into the bowl, okay? Next thing I'm going to put in here is I want to make this like a chocolate base for my s'mores mixture. So I have some no sugar added chocolate fudge pudding. I don't like the regular chocolate, but I love the chocolate fudge. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of this to the bowl. And this has been the base in several of my yogurt concoctions in my What I Eat in a Day videos. I really love that it's not a lot of calories, but it adds a lot of flavor. And I've used other types of the yogurt. Now, I had someone ask me, why don't I make a cheesecake version of my stuff? And the reason is the cheesecake flavored Jell-O pudding is not, the powder's not gluten-free. The other flavors that I have used are, but that cheesecake one is not because of one of the ingredients they have in it. So that gives it that like cheesecakey flavor. So unfortunately, I can't enjoy that. But if you like cheesecake flavor, and you don't have issues with gluten, like I highly recommend looking up some of the recipes that contain that because they look delicious. All right, so I have all 3 of those ingredients mixed up. The chocolate pudding mixture, the yogurt, and the Cool Whip. It's kind of like this light brown color. And now I'm literally just going to take some Lily's chocolate chips. So Lily's chocolate chips have no sugar added to them, but they're really creamy and delicious and they melt really well and I love them. They're kind of expensive, but I only eat them a tablespoon at a time, so they last a long time. So 1 serving is 1 tablespoon. It's 60 calories, less than a gram of protein, but only 60 calories, and it really does taste like a decadent treat. So I'm gonna take a tablespoon of those chocolate chips and just pour that in there. And then I have some Jet Puff by Kraft mini marshmallows. So a serving is 2/3 a cup. I'm not gonna use that much. I'm gonna use about 1/3 a cup. 1/3 a cup is 50 calories, 0 grams of protein, but it's okay to not always be getting everything you want out of your food. If you're enjoying it, it's okay to have a little bit of something that makes it a treat. So about 1/3 a cup. It's about like that. Oh, let me grab my little thing to keep these fresh. My kids love to munch on these with like little, as a side with their treats for dessert. And then since I'm gluten-free, I have some gluten-free graham crackers, but you could use regular graham crackers. I prefer the cinnamon ones, but I can't find the cinnamon ones gluten-free. So these are honey, but they're graham crackers. And in these Char gluten-free graham crackers, 3 of these cookies is 140 calories, 2 grams of protein, but I'm only gonna use 1 of them. I just want it for a little bit of crunch and a little bit of flavor. So let me get my 1 cookie out. And I'm going to just crunch this up into little fine pieces. And then I'm gonna give it a little stir. And this is not pretty. I will pretty it up for the video, for the close-up, but this is it. And so I'm gonna serve this with, I have some apple slices here that I soaked in water and lemon juice. I put a little bit of lemon juice, a couple squirts out of the bottle, and then the rest water to cover all the apple slices. Let it soak for like 5 minutes, and then I drain the water out and they're good to go. It keeps them from browning. And then I have some strawberries here too. So I'm gonna serve this up with my little s'mores yogurt with some apple slices and strawberries for the fiber to go along with my protein, plus a little bit of a treat in there, a little sweet treat to cure my afternoon sweet tooth. It'll feel like dessert, and I'm excited about it. So. Okay, so I have all of my items together to make my lunch for this week. So I am making another scoopable salad. I really enjoyed the one that I made last week, so I thought I would just change up the recipe slightly. This one is still inspired from the same Instagrammer, so I'll go ahead and make sure to link the recipe in the description box below. That's where I got it from. So what I have is a chopped up rotisserie chicken. Her recipe didn't say how many slices, but I put 6 slices of cooked turkey bacon that I chopped up as well. I have 2 red bell peppers, half of a red onion, and a whole cucumber all chopped up in here. I have a 1/4 cup of pre-shredded cheddar cheese, Walmart brand, because I'm very fancy. And then I have a 1/4 cup of plain Greek yogurt and some ranch seasoning. So we're gonna assemble this together. So the first thing I'm going to do is put all of my chopped up vegetables into a bowl. Now the thing I really like about this is these scoopable salads is I can put them into individual servings, or I can just leave them in the bowl all week in the fridge with a lid on it and call it a day. So these are great if you're just having like a really busy week where you can't really be bothered, which is kind of where I am right now. I've been fighting off some sort of sickness. I've been really lucky since I started my journey. I don't know if it's just like because I'm eating better or I'm more careful about making sure I take my vitamins every day or what, but I have really avoided most of like colds and flus and stuff going around. Like the worst thing that happened was last year I got a sinus infection, but I'm fighting off some sort of head cold right now. And so I'm really struggling to make sure that I have all my meal prep done. So this was a nice option for me. So I've got 2 red bell peppers, half of a red onion, and a whole cucumber chopped up in here. I'm going to add in some chopped up rotisserie chicken and 6 slices of cooked turkey bacon. And then her secret ingredient seems to be fire roasted corn. So I've already cooked it in the oven and the pan's completely cool. So when I pick it up with my hand, don't panic. Okay? This is completely cooled off, because I plan to eat this as soon as I'm done showing it all to you. So this is 1 bag of fire roasted corn. It's from the freezer section. I got mine on Amazon Grocery, and it is the same. It's the whole 365, which is Whole Foods brand. So it's just a frozen bag, and on the bag it says to prepare it in the microwave or the stove top, but I had a bag last week that said to prepare it in the oven, and the Instagrammer that I got this from said she's has a master's in nutrition, so like a registered dietitian situation, and so she suggested to cook it in the oven too on one video, and then in this video in particular she said the microwave. So either way is fair, but I liked the oven option, so that's the one I went with for today. So I've got all of that in here. I have a 1/4 cup of cheddar cheese. I don't think she said in the recipe how much to use, but a 1/4 cup's all I need. I just want a little taste of the cheese, but you can use a little more if you want. And then I'm gonna take my 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt and about a tablespoon of the ranch seasoning. It's my song for you. Okay. And then I'm just going to mix that up. And I'm gonna put that right in the salad too. Okay. And then I'm gonna take 2 big spoons, because I think this is the easiest way to do it, and just move this around so that that Greek dressing mixture with the seasoning in it gets all mixed up with all of the ingredients. So I wanna fully combine everything, and I'm probably gonna make a mess all over my counter doing this. That's fair. And then she, just like the one last week, she suggested serving it with rice cakes, which I have some low salt or whatever, just a little salt added. I can't remember what the name of it is, of the rice cakes, the Quaker ones, to serve this with. But I mean, this is like ranch flavored. So even if you had like some protein chips, like I bet this would be really good with the nacho cheese ones, or even like the barbecue ones, if you're a fan of those. I'm sure it'd be great with the protein chips, or like tortilla chips, if you want just something salty. I really liked the rice cakes though, because they're denser than a chip, so they weren't like breaking into pieces as I was eating the salad and like scooping stuff on, and it just gave a really satisfying crunch with every bite. I really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to have a different option for another week. And then I already have my meal planned out for next week, so you can tune in and see what I'm making for that. It is not a scoopable salad, but I am excited. This is nice and easy for when I'm kind of like fighting something off and I just didn't really feel like I could be bothered making lunches. All right. And so there is my scoopable salad. I'm gonna be able to just put a lid on it and pop it right into the refrigerator, and then I can just take a serving out every day at lunch. Or if I really wanted to make it easy on myself, I could pre-scoop this into individualized containers for meal prep, and I can grab them out of the fridge as I go, as I need them. So nice, easy lunch, and I'll check back later. All right, it's time for a weeknight meal. I have made this recipe before on a what I eat in a day, but this is real life and this is what my family really eats. So we are gonna be making a ground turkey sweet potato skillet. I already have it started. The ground turkey is cooking. I've chopped up a sweet onion, a red bell pepper, a yellow bell pepper, and then about 4 to 5 large sweet potatoes have been peeled and cubed into 1-inch cubes. I say I did it, but my husband actually prepped it all for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of that cooking. So, and I'll check back in and show you when it's all done. So what I do is we prepare all of that. We cook the ground turkey with a little bit of salt and pepper, cumin and paprika, as well as a little bit of chili powder. And then once that turkey is fully cooked, I add the onion and bell peppers until they're soft. And then I put the sweet potatoes in there. I add a little bit more seasoning, usually a little more cumin, a little bit more of the chili powder, a little more salt and pepper. And then I will let that cook down with about a half a cup to a cup of water. I start with less and then I add more if it's kind of sticking. And then I will put the lid on that pan. Once all the vegetables are soft and the sweet potatoes and water have been added, I put the lid on there until the sweet potatoes are soft. Once they're soft, like a fork can go straight through them, I just put a little bit of mozzarella cheese on the top, put the lid back on with the heat turned off until the mozzarella cheese melts and it's ready to be served. So I'll show you that when it's all done. Dinner is ready. So here is my sweet potato skillet. It is sweet potatoes, red bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, sweet onion, cooked up with lots of seasoning. It's salt and pepper, cumin, chili powder, a little paprika, garlic powder, and then I let that cook. Once everything's cooked down and I put the sweet potatoes in, add a little bit of water, and I let that cook for about 30 minutes with the lid on it until the sweet potatoes are nice and soft. And then I put a little bit of mozzarella over the top and let that melt, and then it's ready to go. So here we are, nice, easy weeknight meal. We are ready to eat, so I will come back later, might eat dessert, and then I will make sure to give you my wrap up of the day. All right, I don't know about you, but I could use a sweet treat. It's time for dessert, and I have some leftover funfetti cake mix that I thought would be great to make in a mug cake. So 3 tablespoons of this Pillsbury gluten-free funfetti cake mix is only 120 calories. So I'm gonna take the 3-2-1 cake mug method to make my dessert tonight. So 3 tablespoons of cake mix, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 minute in the microwave, and that's all it takes. So I'm gonna put 3 tablespoons of cake mix in here. 1. Now, could I use other things like add in some protein powder or that sort of thing? Sure, I could. I don't want to. I just want something that tastes like cake, and I only need a little serving of it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I've got my 3 tablespoons of that. Let me add my water in here. I'm gonna take it straight from the tap. We've got 1 tablespoon. I still gotta wash all the dishes from dinner, so 2 tablespoons. And then I'm gonna use a whisk. You could use a spoon. I like a whisk because it really like fully mixes it, and you don't want, like, in mug cakes, sometimes the dry mix like gets stuck to the sides of the mug and then it doesn't bake up right. So just make sure that you really mix it well so that it doesn't stick to like the bottom corners of the mug cake. You can do this method with literally any cake mix, the 3-2-1 method. 3 tablespoons of cake mix, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 minute in the microwave. So I'm gonna go microwave this, and I'm gonna try to pop it out, see if I can, and let you see what it looks like, because it's kind of hard to see in the mug. I'll see if I can get it out. We'll let you know. The cake is done. It's in the bottom of this mug. I'm gonna take a knife. Normally you would just put the toppings in the mug and eat it right out of the mug. That's the joy of a mug cake. But I want you all to see it, so let's see if I can pop it out of here. It's very hot. I don't know if you can see the steam on camera, but it is steamy. Okay, I got most of it. All right, so here is my mug cake. It's like a cupcake, like about the size of a cupcake. That's all I need. You can put toppings on this if you want some chocolate chips, if you want some, like a dollop of icing. A dollop of that is not going to throw you all off. But just to keep me a little bit more on track, I'm gonna use some of my no sugar added Cool Whip. Almost like an icing. I could put some sprinkles on this. I don't have any right now, so this is what we're getting. But it looks amazing. A nice, easy, quick treat for a weeknight when I just wanted like something sweet to tide me over, wrap up my day, and feel like I got something, like a little treat in my day. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat this, get the dishes clean, and then I will come back and give you my wrap up of the day. All right, let's go over my day of eating. So breakfast was the hash brown patty, avocado, cottage cheese, egg concoction with the fruit on the side. Plus I had it with two proffies, so half of a protein shake and a coffee, and then I had another one later in the morning. So that brought my breakfast total to 538 calories, 46 grams of protein, 11 grams of fiber. Lunch was the chicken, bacon, ranch, scoopable bowl. That was 368 calories, 47 grams of protein, 1 gram of fiber. I can't believe how much protein is in that. My snack was the s'mores yogurt bowl with the fruit, the apples and the strawberries. That was 343 calories, 19 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber. Dinner was the turkey sweet potato skillet. That's 428 calories, 29 grams of protein, 13 grams of fiber. And then dessert was my mug cake with a little Cool Whip on top. That was 141 calories, 1 gram of protein, 0 grams of fiber. But that still brought my day to 1,808 calories, 142 grams of protein, and 32 grams of fiber. So by some miracle, today was a day where I hit all of my goals. I try to keep my food budget within 17 to 1,900 calories on most days. My protein goal is 140 to 150 grams of protein per day. That is a goal that my registered dietitian, my endocrinologist, and my healthcare provider all came to an agreement together based on my needs and my expenditure due to fitness. And then I try to reach 25 grams of fiber per day, which is what is recommended for the average healthy American adult. So I actually reached all of those, and I'm really, really proud of myself. I also drank 4 of my Stanley mugs, so I had lots of water. I'm very well hydrated. So today was a really good day for me and my body's needs. But again, your body's needs might be very different. So you might need a higher calorie day or a lower calorie day. You might need significantly fewer grams of protein or more. So speak with your healthcare provider so that you can find out what your numbers and goals should be. But if one of the meals or snacks that I made today looked really delicious to you and you want to incorporate it into your own plan, please feel free to. That's kind of why I make these videos. It's fun to share. If you have any recipes or meals that you have found really delicious, please share with us in the comments below. I love getting that from you. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps to grow the channel and build our community, and I really, really appreciate your support. But that's it. That's all for today, and I hope that you'll join me on my next video. Bye-bye.